Let's talk about schools. Let's talk about education. Let's talk about our children. Knowledge is the key to success. That's why stability in the school system is so important. We gave up a $1.2 billion business. And I say business because once we gave up the Memphis City school system, and I know some people say, well, Michael, you had to kick in another $57 million for the schools. I can't think of anything that's more important and more valuable than the education of a child. And if I'm going to pay additional money, then that's what I want to pay it for. Once we gave up the school system, a lot of people feel like they no longer have control of their children's education. We got to get back to the basics. We got to reinvent the educational process of our children, and we have to take control. What arose out of the consolidation of the school system was the municipalities that are surrounding Memphis understood the value of education. And guess what? They raised their taxes to pay for their own school systems because they wanted to ensure that they had control of the education of their children. We need to feel the same way in the city of Memphis, because now we have school takeovers with ASD schools and iZone schools, and we need to make sure that our children have stability. A lot of them are being dislocated. I was at the school board meeting the other night, and they were about to shut down Southside Middle School and Lincoln Elementary School. So what does that mean? That means some of those children have been displaced from school to school to school, so there's no stability. So now many of them don't have stability in their homes, they don't have stability in their communities, and they don't have stability in their schools. How do we expect them to grow up and to know that they can actually count on the education that's going to be provided? Because a lot of them, even when they come to school, they're already thrown off. So we want them to come into a classroom to learn mathematics, science, to learn entrepreneurship. That's not going to happen. As we reinvent the schools, and even if we have to put a referendum to see if, in fact, the citizens of Memphis want to take back or to rename, reinvent the city of Memphis school system, then that's an option that I feel the citizens should have. I don't think there's anything more important than education, because it should evolve around the community. The schools should be the hub of a community, just like the community center, the school system. They should be the hub of the community. I know you remember when we were children how our schools, we couldn't wait to become a part of the school system that either our big brothers or sisters or even our parents were a part of. When you talk about, the Manassas Tigers and how, my mother and my grandmother went to that school, I couldn't wait to be a Tiger. I couldn't wait to represent my family. And a lot of the teachers knew my mother and my father, and they weren't going to let me get away with anything. We don't have that continuity anymore, and we are doing it to ourselves, because we're tearing down the fabric of communities. We're tearing down the fabric of the educational system, and I think it's being done systematically so that individuals who don't have the children's best interests at heart can come in and take that property and to actually redevelop that property and to turn it into something else. And they feel that that's what's best for the community and what's going to move the city of Memphis into the future. But I don't think they're taking the children's best interests at heart. We got to stop that, and we got to get away from that. We have to make the children the number one priority.